friends, welcome to a math lesson all about the 10 frame. Now we've worked with 10 frame some in calendar, so they should be just a little bit familiar, but we're going to work a little bit more closely with the 10 frame. So this part right here, this outline is called a 10 frame, and it's called a 10 frame because, well, it looks kind of like a frame. It's framed out, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spaces. And you use a 10 frame for lots of things. You can use a 10 frame for counting. You can use a 10 frame for showing numbers. You can use a 10 frame for adding when we get to addition. So there are a couple of things about a 10 frame that you need to know though. The first thing is that the top row and the bottom row have the same amount of spaces. They each have 5. And we know that 5 and 5 together make 10. There's something else you need to know about a 10 frame is that there's a very specific way that you have to fill it in when you're counting. And so I'm going to demonstrate that for you. Think about it just like a book. When you read a book, if this was a book, I would read it left to right. And then if I get to the end of the line on a page, I have to go back to the left at the bottom and go. So that's how you count on a 10 frame. So I have my little dots, and you can count along with me. So we're going to fill them in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can stop there and realize, oh, look, there's 5 in the top row. The top row is full, so now I'm showing 5. And now I keep going. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now I have 10 counters, 10 dots in my 10 frame. So it's full, and when a 10 frame is full, there are 10 objects. So that's one way that you can use a 10 frame. You can use it to count. You can also use it to recognize numbers. So if I took some away, I need to be able to look at this in the 10 frame and be like, that's 7. That's called subitizing. We've worked a little bit with that with subitizing, and subitizing is just one of those skills that is going to come with time. You have to practice. But if I didn't look at that and know that that's 7 right away, there's a strategy I can use because I know that the top frame equals 5. I can just start at 5 and then count 2 more and get that number really quickly. So I can just go 5, 6, 7 instead of having to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It doesn't take that much longer, but it's much more quick to go 5, 6, 7. So if I took away, how many is that? How many? 4. So top row is 5. Well, it's not full. There's 1 less, so that's 4. Or I can quickly go 1, 2, 3, 4. Or eventually I'm just going to look and I'm going to see. I'm going to say, oh, that's 4. Okay, what about, what is that? How many? 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Or look and see, that's 8. So let's talk about that fancy order though. And why it's so important. Dropping dots all over the place. And why it's so important, because remember when I subitize, I should be able to look and know what that number is because I recognize patterns. But if it's all over the place, it might be a little harder for me to realize, hey, that's 3. It's not as organized as it should be. When I'm using a 10 frame, I always start at the left, fill in the top row, and then if I need to, I sweep down to the left at the bottom and then fill in the bottom row. So important things about 10 frame. The top row full is 5. I have to get my dots. The whole frame full is 10. I need to learn how to look at a 10 frame, any dots in a 10 frame, and subitize and know what the numbers are. I can start counting 5 at the top row if it's full, and then count on, and then make sure when you're filling in a 10 frame, always start over here. Go this direction, and then if you need more space, you sweep down, and then you keep going left to right.